Hi everyone, I'm Lisa and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. My project today is a 3D, a little bit something different other than a card, and it's for Halloween, and I'm using the new mini pizza boxes. The size is fabulous. Not only is it great to put in a small treat, but it'll also hold a gift card. Here's the project that we're going to be making today, and I'm going to give you some tips about using that brand new Spooky Night Designer Series paper with this project. You can find all the cutting dimensions, pictures, and supplies over on my blog. If you're here visiting from YouTube, the description bar below will have the link taking you right to the post, making it easy for you to find. While you're there, make sure you check on my online classes tab. I've got some fun ways for you to stamp with me from home. Let's head over to the stamp table and let's get started on today's project. Here is a good close-up of that mini pizza box. I am loving these boxes. They are so much fun and the ideas are endless. I'm going to have lots more ideas with these coming up on my blog and YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. The pizza boxes are actually from the holiday catalog. They're here featured on page 44. You'll see them down here at the bottom. I've averaged out the price to be about 75 cents a piece. It's under $1, and here's the best part. They hold gift cards perfectly. The size is perfect. I don't know about you, but if you've needed a gift card holder and you've seen how much they cost at the stores, they're anywhere from $1 to $3 or even higher. They come in a package of 8. They are 3.5 by 3.5 when they are folded, and they're $6. A great buy. The other thing I want to point out is here, you can make small note cards that fit inside, and there are envelopes to coordinate. Great gift idea. I'm going to start with one of the pizza boxes. They are food safe, so if you want to put cookies or treats inside, you can. Start just by folding this up. All the score lines are there for you already. All you have to do is crease on them. Easy enough even for the kids to do. And then there's a little tab here at the bottom that we're going to pop out. So we're going to have to assume for the sake of this demonstration that we have already filled it with whatever wonderful thing we want to give. These tabs will go in, this will come up, and then this will snap right down inside those slotted areas. The same is going to go here for the back with the cover. Make sure your tabs are in. And then just like a pizza box, the lid goes down inside. And then in my case, I tucked the flap in. I have seen people leave the flap out and decorate it. That's another great idea. So now we have our little pizza box. You can stamp directly on here using a pigment ink such as basic black or basic gray archival ink, but I chose to put a belly band on mine, and that's a piece of Designer Series paper. You're going to find all the cutting dimensions for today's project along with still photographs over on my blog. If you're here from YouTube, you can click on the description bar below. It'll have the link right there for you. I want my seam to be in the back because I don't want it to be sightful from the front. So I'm just going to kind of center this, and then I'm just going to crease as I go along the box. That's going to give me those little lines. I found that so much easier than trying to score it all out. All right, so now that's met in the back. I'm just going to leave it upside down. And I'm going to take my snail adhesive and I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to this back strip. I'm being a little bit more generous than normal because I want to make sure that it stays closed. I'm going to stretch and pull this, lining up the top and bottom, and then I'm just going to press. And now we have what's called the belly band around the box to decorate it. Now let's do the top. You're going to see on my original one here, my owl is stamped actually on a branch in a tree. Well, here's the best part. The Designer Series paper from the Spooky Night Designer Paper Collection has those already printed on them. And in true Stampin' Up! Fashion, they are double-sided paper, so the other side can be used all year round. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to die cut a circle here for our owl. And at the same time, I'm going to use a piece of very vanilla cardstock, and I'm going to die cut the scallop that goes behind it. I have my Big Shot with my magnetic platform. I love this. It's going to help hold my dies in place. I've got a clear mat for the bottom, and I've got my Designer Series paper, and I've pulled out a circle. This is measuring approximately 2¼ inches wide, and I'm going to place that right on here. You're going to see I'm going to have a nice rim of that pumpkin color all the way around. And I'm going to have to pass this through twice since it's not large enough to put both my dies on at the same time. But you know what? The Big Shot is easy. We can do that. Clear mat over the top, and then I'm just going to crank this through. So now we have our circle die cut for our owl. We'll set that aside. And then I'm going to bring in the very vanilla cardstock, and I've chosen the largest scallop circle from the Layering Circles framelits. I love these. I think they're probably the most used dies in my stamp room. So you get nested sizes of the regular circles and also of the scallop circles, which I find extremely useful when you want to do some layering. So I've got that on top of here. I'm going to put my clear mat on top and then crank that one through as well. And now we have our scallop circle. For my stamping, I'm using the coordinating stamp set that's called Spooky Cat. The owl in here was actually made specifically to fit inside this branch image, which I think is brilliant. So I've mounted that here, and I'm going to use my Memento ink. And I'm going to ink him up, but I didn't want him to be too dark to blend in with the branch and my paper because my background is rather dark here. So I stamped off a tone on my scratch paper to reduce the overall ink color. He'll make him a little bit more gray. I'm going to position him so his feet are going to come down here near the bottom of the branch. Lots of firm, even pressure because you want to make sure whatever residual ink is left on that stamp that's actually coming out on your paper. And there is this funky looking stamp inside the box, and that actually is perfectly aligned to fill in his beak and his feet. So I'm going to use pumpkin pie ink. I'm going to tap that on my pad, and then I'm going to fill those in as well. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to add some adhesive to the back, and then I'm going to mount that directly on top of that scallop circle that we just die cut. I'm going to rub from the back to make sure it's got good adhesion. And while it's upside down, I'm going to add my dimensionals to the back. These octagon-shaped double foam tape are absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to be very generous with this because I want to make sure that it's balanced. On a 3D project, you don't ever want to skimp on your adhesive or on your dimensionals. You want to make sure it's going to hold up to being transported as well as being used. So I'm going to mount that to the front of my box. The front is here where the lip is. So I'm just going to center on my aloe. And now I'm going to do a little bit of a tag. I brought in a piece of pumpkin pie scrap cardstock, and I'm going back to my Memento ink. And this time I've pulled out the words that say, "Eat at your own risk," which I thought was so appropriate for a Halloween treat. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp that right here in the corner of my cardstock. I chose to make a little tag out of this, and since we don't have a punch small enough, I decided just to freehand it. So I'm using my scissors, and I'm just going around here nice and simple. I'm not going to make this anything fussy. And I'm just using the edge of the words which are lined to make them as straight as possible. Coming across the bottom. And then here at the top, I'm going to judge how tall I want it. And then all I did was snip a little bit off of each side to make it look like a tag. I added a dimensional to the back, right here to the middle, and I positioned that here near my branch. I've got a piece of 8 inches of baker's twine. This is the basic black, and I'm going to make myself a little bow. And I'm going to hold that knot. Here's a tip for you. Hold that knot and then squeeze it to adjust your loops. This way you won't lose the tension of your bow. To attach that, we're going to use a glue dot. So I'm going to fold back one, press the center of my bow right on top of that glue dot, and you're going to see it's a little bit bigger than I need, so I'm going to kind of squish it behind there when I lift. Then I can put my bow right on top of my tag. No threading required. Going to give that a little bit of a haircut using my scissors. And there we go. We have a really simple and easy treat. Here's the one we created today, and here's the one I created before you joined me. So glad that you were here, everyone. Remember to head over to my blog for those pictures and cutting dimensions. And while you're there, click on the Online Classes tab, where you'll find information about my upcoming studio stamps in the mail for October. I'd love to have you join us. It's a great way for you to stamp with me from home. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.